Of all the cases I've investigated, this is the one that still bothers me. Because this time, there was no happy ending. A customer walked in one afternoon, white as a sheet. She had sent her life savings to someone she thought she could trust. Within an hour, she realized it was a scam. She ran to the bank, practically in tears. "Please," she said, "just get my money back. Right now." I wanted to, I really did, but I had to tell her something that broke my heart to say. "I can't." She stared at me in disbelief. "What do you mean you can't? It's your bank, just reverse it." That question stayed with me for weeks. Because it wasn't really about her. It was about a much bigger question. If banks can freeze accounts, flag suspicious activity, and stop fraud in seconds, why can't they just undo a scam? That question became case number 005. I'm Nutsy. I worked at a bank for 3 years. And this case taught me the difference between what feels fair and how money actually moves. Chapter 1. The moment everything changes. You first have to understand something simple. There are 2 very different ways money can leave your account. The first way, someone takes it without your permission. A stolen card, a hacked account, a fraudulent charge you never approved. The second way is much harder to talk about. You send it yourself. You approve the transfer. You type in the amount. You hit confirm. Nobody hacked your account. Nobody stole your card. You made the payment. The problem is, you were lied to about who you were paying, or why. In banking terms, these are 2 completely different categories. One is called an unauthorized transaction. The other is called an authorized transaction. And that single difference changes everything about what happens next. Chapter 2. The case of the stolen card. Marcus called the bank one morning, completely confused. "There's a charge on my card I didn't make," he said. $300. At a store I've never been to. We pulled up his account. He was right. His card had been used at a location he'd never visited, at a time he could prove he was somewhere else. This was a clear case of unauthorized use. He never approved it. He never saw it. He never typed anything. Someone else used his card information without his knowledge. In cases like this, banks have strong consumer protections. We opened a dispute, investigated the transaction, and within days, Marcus got his money back. Why? Because the system is built to protect you from transactions you never agreed to. If you didn't authorize it, the bank can often reverse it. I wrote my first clue in my notebook. Unauthorized equals reversible. I thought I understood the case. Then I met someone else. Chapter 3. The case that changed everything. Diane came in the next week. She had received a call from someone claiming to be her bank's fraud department. They knew her name. They knew her account number. They even knew her recent transactions. It felt completely real. "There's suspicious activity on your account," the caller said. "We need to move your money to a secure account immediately." Diane panicked. She followed their instructions exactly. She logged into her banking app and transferred her savings to the account they gave her. To protect it, or so she thought. 20 minutes later, the line went dead. She called the real bank. That's when she learned the truth. There was no fraud. There was no emergency. The bank employee, on the phone, was the scammer. And the money she sent to protect her savings was the scam itself. I looked at her transaction. She had logged in herself, entered the account number herself, approved the transfer herself. Nothing about the transaction itself looked unauthorized. Because it wasn't. She authorized every step. She had simply been lied to about why she was doing it. And that one detail changed everything. I wanted to believe Diane's case was rare. It wasn't. Once I started looking, I found the same pattern, wearing different disguises. Disguise number 1: the online seller. Josh was selling his old car online. A buyer messaged him within an hour. "I'll pay full price. No negotiation. I just need to verify you're a real seller first." The buyer sent a link. "Click this to confirm your bank details so I can send the payment safely." Josh clicked it, logged in like he always did. Nothing looked unusual. The page looked exactly like his bank. 20 minutes later, $400 was gone from his account. There was no buyer. There was no car sale. Just a fake page, built to look real enough to borrow his own login. And once he typed it in, he had unknowingly authorized the access himself. The one who found love online. Priya met someone online. They talked for months. He was thoughtful, consistent, patient, exactly the kind of person who doesn't feel like a stranger after a while. Then one day, he mentioned an emergency. A medical bill, a stuck shipment, A fee to release funds he said were coming to both of them. Small amounts at first, then larger ones. Every transfer, she sent herself. Every time, she believed she was helping someone she trusted. By the time she suspected the truth, she had sent money over 11 separate transfers. Every one of them, authorized by her. The urgent family emergency. Robert got a call from a number he didn't recognize. "Grandpa, I'm in trouble. Please don't tell Mom. I need bail money right now." The voice sounded exactly like his grandson. Panicked, crying, familiar. Robert didn't stop to question it. He wired the money to the account he was given, within 15 minutes of picking up the phone. His grandson was safe at home the entire time. By the time he realized, it was too late and the money was gone. So now we have three completely different situations. A seller, a person looking for connection, a worried grandparent, three completely different emotions: trust, love, fear, but the pattern underneath was exactly the same. Someone else created urgency, and the victim authorized the transaction themselves. I added 3 more clues to my growing pile. Different story, same structure. Chapter 5: The Uncomfortable Truth. Here's where things get uncomfortable. Because when you look at these cases from the victim's side, it feels obvious that something went wrong. Someone lied, manipulated them, created fear, urgency, or trust, and used it to get them to send money. But when you look at the same transaction from the bank's system, the picture can look completely different. The login was real, device was recognized, correct credentials were used. The customer entered the information and pressed confirm. A banking system can verify who is making a transaction, but it can't always know why they're making it. It can't see the fear, manipulation. It can't see that someone was pretending to be a bank employee, a buyer, a loved one, or someone they trusted. Fraud protection is largely built around one question: did you authorize this? But scams often create a much harder question: were you tricked into authorizing it? Those two situations can look completely different to a person, but surprisingly same to a computer system. And once I understood that, I finally understood why these cases were so difficult to reverse. The system could recognize the transaction, but it couldn't always recognize the deception behind it, and that distinction changes everything. Chapter 6: What I Wish Every Customer Understood. I think about Diane sometimes. Not because she did something foolish, but because she did exactly what most of us would do if we believed our savings were in danger. She acted fast. She trusted the voice that sounded official. She wanted to protect her money. The scam wasn't built to exploit her carelessness. It was built to exploit her instinct to react quickly under pressure. That's what makes these scams so effective. They don't ask you to be foolish. They ask you to be fast. And fast is exactly when mistakes become permanent. So here's what I wish every customer understood. The real protection isn't something your bank adds after the transfer. It's the pause before you hit confirm. Here's what we discovered: unauthorized transactions, ones you never approved, are usually protected and reversible. Authorized transactions, even ones made because you were deceived, are far harder to undo. Once money moves between accounts, reversing it becomes a race against time, not a simple button press. Banks verify identity, not intent. The system checks, was this you, not, were you tricked? And finally, the strongest protection you have isn't a bank policy. It's a pause, a single moment, before you send anything, to verify who's really asking. Not every case I investigate has a clean, satisfying ending. This one didn't, but I think that's exactly why it needed to be told. Because understanding how money moves isn't just about saving a few dollars in fees. Sometimes it's about protecting everything you've worked for. If this case helped you understand something you didn't know before, consider subscribing to Nutsy's Money Adventures. Every episode, we open another case. We investigate another money mystery. And together, we learn how to make smarter, safer financial decisions. Because the goal isn't just to save money, it's to understand it. I'm Nutsy, and I'll see you in the next case.